Next on Worcester News tonight, a fire in the city displaces a family of 4. A teenager home at the time makes it out safely. Plus, a local boy sets up a lemonade stand to raise money for veterans. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. We begin tonight in Worcester, where a 2-alarm fire displaces a family of 4. A teenage boy and his dog were home at the time of the fire. They were able to make it out safely after a neighbor noticed smoke coming from the home. The fire broke out around 3 p.m. Thursday on Louis Street. The boy and his dog were the only ones home at the time of the fire. The neighbor noticed smoke and yelled for help immediately. The family says the fire appears to have started upstairs. They say 2 of the bedrooms are totally destroyed. The boy's aunt says a lot of things are ruined inside, but she is happy everyone is okay.
The community can come together and help at the time of need that we need. They have no clothes, no shoes. But the most important thing, that my nephew Joseph, he wasn't hurt. At least he was able to get out with his dog, Junior.
The cause of the fire is under investigation. The residents say they will be staying with family in the meantime. A Southbridge man who illegally shipped gun parts around the world has been sentenced to nearly 3 years in federal prison. Prosecutors say 60-year-old David Maricola of Southbridge sent more than $100,000 worth of components for assault rifles, handguns, and machine guns that ended up in 20 countries. Maricola will be on supervised release for 3 years following his sentence. He will also pay a special assessment of $32,000 and forfeit firearms and firearms components. A fatal shooting in Worcester Wednesday night is the city's 6th homicide of the year. Worcester police are now releasing the name of the victim. 26-year-old Jose Ortiz was shot in his chest. Our Brittany Schaefer has more on how the young father is being remembered.
Last night he was just walking through here to go to work. I don't know.
Worcester police identified the victim of a fatal shooting Wednesday as Jose Ortiz. Police say the 26-year-old was shot in the chest on Elliott Street. He died in a hospital shortly after from his injuries.
The male was on the ground, unconscious and suffering from a single gunshot wound to the chest. Police officers immediately began initiating first aid to the male.
I just heard a shot and a car speed by.
And it happened so quick. I did hear the gunshot and I did hear the car just speed away. I wish I would have seen something.
Detectives are on scene Thursday investigating and searching for witnesses. No arrests have been made.
The initial investigation reveals that there was a verbal altercation between the male victim and a suspect.
This is the 6th homicide in Worcester this year, but the 2nd in just 3 days. Worcester police say the violence is concerning.
It's abnormal here in Worcester to have 2 homicides this close in time together. That in conjunction also with the shooting this past weekend outside the Latin Festival. It's definitely concerning to us.
Neighbors on Elliott Street are remembering Jose Ortiz as a quiet and friendly father who walked through the area often.
The victim was a good person, no gang related, had 2 kids, which is sad.
I went to school with him. He was a good kid. He definitely wasn't gang related when he was in school. He was very quiet. I seen him all the time around here.
And that was our Brittany Schaefer reporting. Police say it is still not clear if the suspect and victim knew each other. The incident is under investigation. If anyone has any information, you are asked to call Worcester Police. A New Hampshire state trooper will not see any jail time after being caught on tape beating a Worcester man. Alicia Palumbo has a complete breakdown of the plea deal.
The assault was caught on camera, the end of a high-speed police chase through 2 states where the suspect, Richard Simone, appeared to be surrendering peacefully. And then New Hampshire State Police Trooper Andrew Monaco and Massachusetts State Police Trooper Joseph Flynn began striking him.
I severely regret my actions and cannot explain why I engaged in actions that I had always promised myself I would not do.
Thursday, Monaco, now resigned from his job as a state trooper, pleaded guilty, saying his actions were not consistent with his training.
I was unable to separate the events that had occurred occurred during the pursuit from my conduct during the arrest.
As part of the plea deal, Monaco got a 1-year suspended sentence, meaning he will not serve any time in jail as long as he doesn't violate the terms of his probation, including anger management classes, community service, and no longer serving as a law enforcement officer.
Officers working in law enforcement are and must be held to a high standard of conduct in every interaction with the public, particularly in moments of high stress.
But Simone's attorney expressed his client's frustration with what he called a double standard for those who wear a police uniform.
The message that's being sent is that there are two sets of rules by letting this officer walk out with what he feels is a little more than a slap on the wrist.
Attorney General Joseph Foster says while he wrestled with the plea deal sentence, he feels it's more than appropriate for simple assault charges.
Losing one's chosen profession is not typically an outcome of a plea to simple assault and therefore represents severe punishment on its own.
Massachusetts State Police Trooper Joseph Flynn still faces simple assault charges in this case, and as part of his plea deal, Monaco is expected to testify against him. In Nashua, New Hampshire, Alicia Palumbo, Worcester News Tonight.
Police have identified the victims in Monday's deadly school bus crash in Mendon. 57-year-old Cheryl Drainville of Bellingham was the passenger in the vehicle. She died from her injuries. Her son, 33-year-old Richard Drainville, was driving the car and remains hospitalized. None of the students on the bus heading to a summer camp in Franklin were injured. The crash remains under investigation. A lemonade stand in Grafton Thursday aims to give back to the servicemen and women who protect the country. It's the creation of a young boy and his mother, and as our Cam Jandro tells us, this 7-year-old just wants to serve his country.
Lemonade. One lemonade. Yep.
Tyler Hardiman is selling lemonade Thursday, but not for his own piggy bank. The 7-year-old partnered with Project New Hope. It's an organization assisting veterans with post-traumatic stress and the issues veterans face after war.
Because I want to help the Army men.
Tyler says all funds from the lemonade stand are going to Project New Hope. His mom, Danielle, says after days of research, he made the decision to raise money for local vets.
I'm just proud of him. He's always been one that wants to help others, and he's into the whole Army thing, and I'm just proud that he wants to step up and one day serve his country.
Thursday wasn't Tyler's first time engaging in community service. Last year, Tyler raised money for a local officer in need of assistance with medical bills. Bill LeBeau is the treasurer at Project New Hope and an Army Reserves veteran. He says it makes him happy to see younger generations step up and stand behind the troops and the community.
And it's so refreshing to know that we have families who still support our military, who understand the sacrifices that are being made by people in other families so that we can live the lives that we live. And to know that his family is instilling those values into him is very refreshing as a veteran.
Even though he's only 7, Tyler has already laid out a game plan for when he grows up. He wants to join the service, and when asked why, he says,
I want to serve our country.
Now, dozens from across the community stopped by Tyler's lemonade stand today. His mom says with the success of today's fundraiser, they definitely look forward to holding another one next year. Those interested in donating to Project New Hope can go online and visit their website. Olivia?
What a great story. Thank you, Cam. The Halloween outlet store in Worcester has recently changed ownership after 34 years in business. The new owners of the West Boylston Street store are a sibling duo who say they love Halloween. They both know the previous owners and say they won't be changing much in the store. Customers can still look forward to the same products, makeup demonstrations, and scary attractions.
This store's been here for a long time, and they've done things very well for a long time, and we're not looking to change really much in the way of how things have been done here. We'll have the same types of products. We will be open the same hours. We'll be doing the same kind of attractions that they've had in the past.
With Halloween just a couple months away, the new owners say they can't wait for their busy season. It might surprise you to find out Canada is the state's largest trading partner. Thursday, Canada's Consul General in Boston visited Worcester on a business tour. Our Roslyn Flaherty followed the tour today and has the story.
So as they play, they gain this currency from the stars.
Worcester startup companies show off their products to Consul General David Allward. The Canadian government official toured Mass Digi at Becker College Thursday as part of a business tour.
Trade between Canada and Massachusetts is about $11 billion a year, so it's very, very important.
Allward says more than 200,000 jobs in Massachusetts depend on trade and investments with Canada. The country is the largest trading partner of the Commonwealth.
Widget that's made in Canada and exported to the U.S., on average, 25% of the components of that widget were actually made here in the U.S. first.
This is Consul General's second visit to the city this year. The Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce brought him to Worcester businesses like Euro-American and Mass Digi.
How do you monetize the growing world of video and digital gaming, and how that video and digital game development can apply to other fields?
Chamber President and CEO Tim Murray says video and digital gaming is a growing part of Canadian economy.
Especially around the Montreal area, startup companies growing and expanding, and we certainly see that beginning to take root here in Worcester and in Central Mass.
Ryan Canuel started Petrichor after graduating from Mass Digi. He says it's important to establish relationships because they work with companies all over the world.
What we're doing, what Becker's doing, what Mass Digi's doing, and also what they're doing in Canada and how all that kind of interconnects.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Thank you, Rosalind. Happening this weekend, the beach is coming to Worcester. Caribbean Festival will be filling Park Avenue this Sunday. Police want you to be aware of closures between Chandler and Salisbury Street starting at 1 in the afternoon. The closures are for the parade and will only last a short amount of time. You can also expect a lot of people around Institute Park between noon and 7 on Sunday.